Imagine you're standing at a crossroads, late at night. Every path before you is shadowed and silent. No signs. No one telling you which way is right. Your phone dies. No GPS. No map. And in that strange, unsettling darkness, you realize something. No one is coming to tell you what to do. You are completely, terrifyingly free. Pause for a moment, let that really sink in. Maybe you're thinking, that sounds amazing. Who wouldn't want total freedom? But then a cold shiver runs down your spine. If no one tells you what to do, who's responsible if you end up lost, or regretful, or broken? This is the paradox at the heart of your existence, the strange, beautiful, and sometimes agonizing reality that the philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre called being condemned to be free. It's the idea that you, yes, you, must choose your own direction in a world that offers no absolute signposts, no final answers, just the blank, open sky of possibility, and the anxious, pounding heart inside your chest. You didn't ask for this, but here you are. And the way you respond right now may be the most important decision of your life. Today, we'll explore the part of freedom no one tells you about, the anguish, the confusion, the paralyzing weight of possibility, but also the incredible power that comes with claiming your choices. You'll learn why feeling lost or anxious in the face of freedom is not a failure, but a vital sign you're truly awake, fully alive. And I'll give you practical tools, mindsets, questions, real-world examples to help you move from passive bystander to conscious creator of your own life story. This isn't just philosophy, it's your story. Are you ready to look in the mirror and face what you might become? Let's begin. Let's start with Sartre's most famous and most misunderstood statement. Existence precedes essence. If that sounds abstract, let's break it down right away. You, like everyone else, were born without a script. There was no cosmic instruction manual telling you who to become. In other words, you exist first. Then, through your actions, your decisions, your habits, you create your own meaning, your own essence. Picture this. You wake up in a new city. No one knows you. You have no reputation, no history here. Who are you? The answer, Sartre says, isn't hidden somewhere deep inside, waiting to be discovered. Instead, who you are is the sum of your choices, the things you decide to do or not do, day after day. You are not born a teacher, a leader, a failure, or a good person. You become these things actively by how you show up in the world. For Sartre, this is both a blessing and a curse. Why? Because if you are not determined by nature or by fate, you cannot blame your parents, your DNA, your circumstances, or even human nature for who you become. The weight is on you. This idea isn't just for philosophers, it's for anyone who's ever felt trapped by labels, haunted by regrets, or suffocated by others' expectations. So, pause and ask yourself, where in your life have you let someone else define you? Where are you living by a script you never chose? Right here is the invitation and the demand of existentialism, to realize that your actions, starting today, are what carve your story into the world. What does this mean for you? Practically, it means you are free to change. You are also responsible for what you become. That's exhilarating and terrifying. Because the next step is this: with freedom comes responsibility. Let's get concrete. Imagine you're deciding whether to leave a job you hate, end a toxic relationship, or follow a risky dream. You know, deep down, that no one can make this decision for you. There is no right answer waiting out there in the ether, no destiny written in the stars. So you wait, you gather advice, you Google, what should I do? But the truth is, you already know. No one can choose for you. Sartre would call this moment anguish. And here's what's radical. Anguish isn't a sign you're broken or weak, it's proof you are facing up to your own freedom. Why does this matter? Because so many of us, when confronted with a big decision, freeze. We panic, avoid, distract ourselves with endless scrolling or busy work, hoping the choice will disappear. Sound familiar? But hiding from choice is still a choice. You can't escape responsibility, even by refusing to decide. As Sartre put it, in choosing for yourself, you choose for all humanity. Every time you act, you set an example not just for yourself, but for what it means to be human. Think about that. Every time you show kindness or cruelty, you say, in effect, this is what people do. Every time you lie or tell the truth, stand up or give in, you're writing a line in the script of what humans are. It's a heavy thought, but it can also be liberating. So ask yourself, what kind of example are you living right now? If someone followed your choices for a year, what kind of world would they believe in? This is where responsibility becomes a kind of creative power, not just a burden. You are, in a very real sense, the author of meaning in your little corner of existence. What will you write? Let's zoom in on another aspect Sartre called abandonment. He meant that in a universe without any guaranteed values, no fixed blueprint from God or nature, you are, in his words, alone, without excuses. But let's get honest. Doesn't that sound depressing? Isn't it easier to wish that someone or something could just tell you what matters? Think back. How many times have you wished for a sign, a rule book? How often have you hoped a parent, a boss, a partner, or even a horoscope would just give you the answer? But here's the twist. Sartre isn't just trying to scare you. He's showing you where real courage begins. If the universe doesn't come with pre-made instructions, it means that the values you choose truly matter. They are not handed down, they are created by you with every action you take. Here's a practical example. Let's say you decide today to treat everyone you meet with respect, regardless of how they treat you. That isn't just following the rules, it's actively choosing what you want the world to be. Or maybe you decide that your art, your work, your friendships will be guided by honesty, even if it costs you something. That is an act of creation, not conformity. So, what's the takeaway for you? It means your life is not about discovering some hidden destiny, but about creating meaning in the small and large choices of everyday life. Your freedom is an invitation to invent not just yourself, but the values that shape the world around you. What meaning will you make today? Let's pause and recap for a second. So far, we've seen you exist first, and then become who you are through choices. Freedom means responsibility. There are no excuses, no scripts. In a world without built-in meaning, you are the source of value. But now comes the hardest part. How do you deal with the anxiety and confusion this brings? Because let's be honest, freedom sounds wonderful until you realize it means standing alone, sometimes terrified, in front of possibility. Sartre called this feeling anguish. It's that knot in your stomach when you know the next move is up to you. It's the voice in your head that whispers, "What if I get it wrong? What if I mess everything up?" Here's the secret. See, anguish is not your enemy. It is the signal that you are alive, that you are not running on autopilot. Think about this. Have you ever noticed that the most meaningful decisions in your life came with a dose of fear? That when you truly cared about love, about work, about being true to yourself, you felt both excitement and dread. That's anguish. It's the price of freedom. But what if, instead of seeing anxiety as a problem to be eliminated, you saw it as a signpost, a compass pointing you toward what really matters? Every time you feel the weight of possibility, it means you have something precious to lose or to gain. So the next time you feel anxious about a decision, don't run. Pause. Ask yourself, what does this anxiety reveal about what I truly care about? What value or dream is hidden behind this fear? Try this. The next time you face a hard choice, instead of asking, "What should I do?" try asking, "What kind of person do I want to become through this decision?" Notice how that shifts your focus from trying to guess the right answer to inventing the kind of life you want to live. Remember, there is no cosmic judge grading your performance. There is only the meaning you create one choice at a time. At this point, you might be wondering, but what if I fail? What if my choices hurt others or myself? This is a real human fear, and Sartre doesn't sugarcoat it. He says, in effect, that you can't escape making mistakes. There is no way to be human without risking error. But here's the deeper wisdom. You are not responsible for being perfect. You are responsible for being honest about your motives, your hopes, your limitations. In fact, Sartre warns against bad faith, the habit of lying to yourself, pretending you don't have choices, hiding behind roles or routines. Bad faith is what happens when you tell yourself, "I had no choice. That's just who I am," or "That's just the way things are." It's the excuse that lets you avoid the pain and the power of real freedom. So, here's a challenge. The next time you catch yourself saying, "I can't change," ask, is that really true? Or is it easier than facing the discomfort of freedom? Freedom is not about never failing. It's about owning your life mistakes and all. It's about getting up, again and again, and saying, "This is who I choose to be," even in the face of uncertainty. So, what does this mean for you today? Maybe it's time to let go of the old stories that keep you stuck. Maybe it's time to stop waiting for permission, or for clarity, or for the perfect opportunity. Maybe it's time to act and see what you can create, not just for yourself, but for everyone who will ever watch, learn, or be touched by your courage. Let's ground this in a concrete story. Imagine a woman named Chloe. Chloe has spent years working in a job she despises. Every day she tells herself, "I can't quit, I need the money. I have no other skills. I'm too old to start over." But one day, Chloe has a realization. No one is forcing her to stay. Yes, there are risks, bills to pay, uncertainties ahead. But by staying, Chloe is making a choice. She is choosing comfort over possibility, familiarity over growth. That's when the anguish kicks in. She feels the weight of her decision, of every path not taken. It hurts, but it's also empowering. Chloe takes a small step. She updates her resume. She starts applying to new jobs, even if she's not sure where it will lead. In that moment, Chloe is living Sartre's philosophy. She is not waiting for a sign from the universe, she is making meaning, one uncertain choice at a time. And you? Where in your life are you, like Chloe, telling yourself, I have no choice? What would it look like to admit your freedom? To take even a tiny risk toward a life you actually want? You don't need to leap all at once. Start with a small, honest step. Name the fear. Feel the anguish. And then act. This is how freedom becomes real, messy, imperfect, alive. Let's step back and consider, why does all this matter in our world right now? Because we live in an age of infinite choices and infinite distractions. You can swipe, scroll, shop, or move halfway around the world with a few taps. And yet so many feel more lost, more anxious, more stuck than ever. Sartre's existentialism is not just a dusty philosophy for professors. It's a radical call to wake up, to take ownership, to stop waiting for someone or something to save you. It's a mirror held up to every excuse, every I can't, every I have to. It says, you are not a passive spectator. You are a participant, a creator. And yes, it's scary, because with freedom comes the risk of regret, of failure, of pain. But what's the alternative? To live a life that was never truly yours, to let fear write your story, one day at a time. No, you deserve more than that. The meaning of your life is not waiting to be found, it is waiting to be made. So, let's recap what we've uncovered today. First, you are condemned to be free, not in the sense of a punishment, but as the unavoidable condition of being human. There are no excuses, no scripts, no guarantees. Second, your freedom is inseparable from responsibility. Every choice you make is a statement not just about who you are, but about what it means to be human. Third, the anguish you feel in the face of choice is not a sign of weakness, but proof that you are awake, alive, and engaged. Fourth, you have the power not just to choose, but to create meaning, to shape values, to write the story of your life. And finally, there is no one to blame and no one to save you. You are the author, the actor, and the audience of your existence. So what can you take away from this? Here are two practical tools, simple but profound. 1. When faced with a difficult choice, pause and ask, what kind of person do I want to become through this? Let the answer guide your action. 2. When you feel the weight of anxiety, recognize it as the signal that you are free, then use it as fuel, not as an excuse to avoid. Remember, no one else can live your life for you. And the world desperately needs people who are willing to step into the unknown, to risk, to choose, to create. You are already more powerful and more free than you realize. Don't waste it. So, what will you choose? If this video has sparked something in you, an idea, a question, maybe even a little fear, I invite you to share it in the comments. How will you take ownership of your freedom today? What choice have you been avoiding, and what small step can you take to begin? If you found this valuable, subscribe for more mind mirror explorations and join a community of seekers daring to confront the real questions. And don't miss our next video, where we'll explore what it really means to face your own mortality and how the fear of death can become your greatest teacher. Until then, remember, you are free, you are responsible, and your life, yes, Yours is yours to create. The ideas explored in this video are for philosophical and psychological exploration and are not intended as professional advice. Viewers are encouraged to engage in their own critical thinking and further research, and to consult with qualified professionals for personal concerns.